Live.
The dub is 3, 2. One for the money, 2 for the show, 3 get ready, 4 to let go. Talking that talk is all that we don't. It's football time, we ready to roll. We bringing the coaches close to the fans, answering questions not from the stands. D1 players with offers in hand from DF Dubs, the best in the land. Hey, 6 be coming to play like 8, 5 be coming to play like 8, 4 and 3 be coming like 8. Private schools be making it 8, cool in the game, Bad and Brian doing our thing. Weird and Jeremy ready to swing. Oh, I forgot it's a Carr to come. We do it for the dub. We do it for the dub. We do it for the dub. At DF Dub. We do it for the dub. We do it for the dub. We do it for the dub. At DF Dub. We do it for the dub. We do it for the dub. We do it for the dub. At DF Dub. We do it for the dub. We do it for the dub. We do it for the dub. At DF Dub.
Welcome to the Dub, #1 high school podcast starring Pat O'Teasy, Jeremy McInnes, Whitfield Roderick, and Brian Riser.
Dallas Fort Worth.
Hey, we do it for the dub. All day, every day. If it ain't live, it ain't me. It's your boy Bo. We back in the building.
Right.
It's going down. What up, B-Rise?
What's up, man?
Oh, man, just another day in the yay. What it do?
What it do, man? What it do? What it do? Hey, we got one day till football, baby. I can't wait.
It's go time. It's go time.
Woo! Jay back in the building.
What happening? What happening? What's happening, homies?
What's
Hey,
up,
we got
man?
them golden tones of J Mac, man. I think of everybody on the show, he's probably got the most recognizable voice. What y'all think?
Country
Yeah.
Hill.
Man, who the heck got that ringtone from 1999?
Say, Pat. That's Coach
There we
Barnett,
go.
man. So that's Coach Barnett right here, man. So we just let him know we'll bring him on at 9:30, 9:45. What time?
Nah, we'll
Oh,
bring
no.
on by 9:15, 9:20.
Tell them to come on in.
Tell them now.
Yeah, tell them now. We're gonna bring our special guest in first, and I want to see if the graphics are working. We working behind the scenes. But hey, man, look. So Carr has joined the staff, Coach Carr. Will, and we're gonna bring him on in a little bit. I see in the background, he's in the dark right now, but man, he's on the staff. We appreciate him. We got to give him his badge to make sure that he can get into games and stuff with us, because they might not know him, but they're gonna know him as he steps on the scene. But we also got another badge to give out. Y'all ready to give out this other badge?
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
D1 players, DF Dub.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
we done made him an honorary employee of the Dub.
Yes,
That's
sir.
his employee
How's it
packet
going?
right there.
How's it going, fellas? Y'all doing all right?
What up? What
Yes,
up?
sir.
What up, Matt?
Yes, sir. Man, we're
Good to see you
excited to
guys.
have you on. We've been trying to get you on for a while. It's football time, week
It
0
is.
week. So what a great time to bring on the great Matt Stepp.
Hey, appreciate
So
you
what's
guys having
going
me
on
on. Hey, I'm just excited to be on with you guys. I'm a big fan. I watch you guys every week, and you guys doing a great job. And I enjoy. It's entertaining and informative, which is, I know that's the point of the podcast. You guys are doing a hell of a job.
Man, salute, man. Appreciate that.
We appreciate
Yes,
it.
sir. Hey, for the people in the back that didn't see it, one more time.
D1 players, DF Dub.
He right.
Matt look like he can spit some bars on that
I
tune.
know, yeah, like he got a little freestyle game on.
Yeah.
You got freestyle game, Matt?
Maybe in my younger days at Trinity Valley in East Texas, but not now. I'm a little too old for all that. I can't do it. I just get in where I fit in now.
No doubt. He always had the backwards hat on. That's his style. So we dig it. We dig it.
Yeah. You got to have a look, and that's my signature look. And if I don't wear it, people don't recognize me. So you got to go with it.
Straight out of
Absolutely.
Everman, Texas, huh?
Yes, sir. Fort Worth, Texas, Everman to be specific, and very proud to be from there. And that's where I'm from. That's part of what made me who I am today.
Man, we got a
Already.
crazy Everman fanatic His son is the quarterback at Everman.
He's
Oh,
a
you
good
talking about
player.
Snowman?
Hey,
Basketball is a good
man.
player, man. He's really good. I'm excited about the Bulldogs this year. You know, we've had a couple of down years, but I mean, there was about a 10-year period where we were kind of the school in Fort Worth, and we,
Yeah.
you know, once the state championships and had some great years there. And, you know, we've kind of, you know, things have changed in Everman. The community has grown, but the demographics have changed a little bit. And the numbers in the football program haven't been what they were. And I think they're starting to get back up now. And I'm excited to see what they can do because, you know, people from Everman, we're very proud. And I know you guys' audience is very Dallas centric. To me, Everman is kind of like Fort Worth's version of Lancaster, kind of right
Basically.
there
I like
on
that.
the
I like
outskirts.
that.
We're kind of we were similar sized communities for a while, similar demographics, similarly located. You know, we're just on 35W instead of 35E. And that's kind of what I view Everman as like. We're kind of Fort Worth, Lancaster, and hopefully we can get back to being one of the elite teams in the Tarrant County area. We've had a history of good football.
Hey, they pushed Sock. They pushed Sock last year. I was at that game. They pushed Sock in that playoff game. They was giving them. I think they ran out of gas, but
Sock is a better team. Yeah, we got with them a little bit, but they were a better team.
It was a little scrap for a little bit. It was a little scrap.
Yeah.
Hey, back in Everman, back in the early 2000s, I used to follow them a lot. I used to be a big fan of Everman. What was that quarterback? Now, I know his first name was Michael. I can't think his last name for nothing.
Michael Benton.
He was dynamic.
Michael Benton. Yeah, I went to school with his older brother graduated with me. Michael was a great athlete, two-time state champion quarterback. He was also a state champion on the basketball. They won state in basketball, and he was a guard on one of those state champion basketball teams. He was a great athlete. 4-year starter at Eastern New Mexico.
Wow.
He was
So they're on a mission to make Everman great again. Because
he was a fan of him.
Yeah, he was a great player. That's the plan. We're trying to bring the E-Block back. That's what we call ourselves, the E-Block. We're trying to bring it back.
E-Block, right?
Hey, tell me, can you tell us something about the new coach? I know they got a new coach this year, right? First year?
Yeah, Michael Boone. He's been on staff. I think he's been on staff for 19 years. He was one of the offensive assistants. I think he was the quarterback coach. He was also the head soccer coach as well. And he took over the head coach. Previous head coach is now the athletic director. They kind of split the athletic director, head football coach. As Everman has grown, they decided to split the duties and have just the athletic director and a football coach separate. So Coach Boone took over. And I'm really excited about what he's done with the program because I was out there today at the Stickers with Sons. Little, the decal thing, and they had a good turnout, and there's a lot of people that are excited. Some of the old alums are starting to come back and bring their kids back and try to get back in the program. So I'm excited about what's going on there. We'll see. They're in a tough district. I mean, Mansfield Summit, Ennis, Midlothian Heritage, Burleson, Corsicana, a lot of good football teams in that district. So
my man Durham said they going 10-0. The quarterback there, he said they going 10-0.
I hope we do.
Yes. Hey, it's funny because I know that his dad Snow. We call him Snowman. He cooked some turkey legs for me and stuff at some events and stuff. I need to get out to Everman to see if he's gonna take care of me. Hey, also, do you know a coach named a guy named Paco? I think he played on the state championship game. His name is Mendez. I think Marcus Mendez.
Yeah, I know Marcus. Marcus is 2 or 3 years younger than me. I know Marcus. Marcus is a good baseball player too.
Yeah, I've known. He's big into baseball. His son, I know him and his son were in Florida during the tournament. Also, he coaches with the Fort Worth Crimson Tide right now. So I call him Paco. Talk to Paco all the time, man.
He's good people. Yeah, I've known him since I was in elementary school. So I was like 2 or 3 years older than him. But yeah, I've known him.
Oh man, yeah,
I got for a long time.
Tomorrow. Yeah,
he's good people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He is great people, man. I have awesome conversations with him. Love his family and stuff, man. A great guy. For sure. Yeah, he's a good dude. Small world, man. I didn't even know all that. The 5 degrees of separation, I call it.
Always, the world is way smaller than we think it is, for sure.
Right, absolutely. So let me ask you this: normally we would bring someone on like you to kind of pick your brain about what's going on 685A and all that good stuff. But how did you get into this business? How did you get your start? When did you start?
Man, I've been doing this a while now. I've been probably. So I don't have a typical journalism background. I went to school to be a coach. That was kind of what I wanted to do was get into the coaching game, and just didn't really enjoy being in the classroom when I was doing my student teaching. That wasn't really for me. So I kind of got into the financial sector, but still wanted to be around. high school football. So I just, this is back in 2004, I think. And I just started posting on message boards. Back then message boards were where it was popping. There wasn't Twitter, there wasn't Facebook. You had to post on message boards. And so I started posting on the message boards, and I would give game previews and things like that. And people started to, people that work for different websites, were like, hey, man, this guy kind of knows what he's talking about. And so I kind of got on with a rivals.com website. It's called Texas Prep Extra at the time. And just started out, working for free, just, basically working for media credentials. And I was like, I get to go to games for free. This is great. And so it just kind of took off from there. And I've been kind of grinding and doing it ever since. And, it's a relationship business. So over time, you try to have, build your relationships up with coaches. And that's how you kind of get your connections and your sources by being someone who is, I follow up with what I'm going to say. If somebody tells me something and it's in confidence, I keep it in confidence. And if just try to be straight up and real with people and treat people the right way, treat people the way you want to be treated. And typically it works out in the end. So with a little hard work and just being good to people, I've kind of gotten to where I am today. But I mean, really, it wouldn't be without, because I love high school football. I would be out at these games no matter what. And if you love what you're doing, then it's not really work. I don't view going to games on Friday nights as work. I view it as a privilege. I get to go watch high school football and somebody actually pays me to do it. And so I feel like I'm kind of living the dream. So it's definitely not work. It's a lot of fun. And when it's a passion, I feel like it'll show up in your work.
Yeah, that's how we came across. That's how we all together, because we just love high school football.
Yeah, so I mean, I'd be out of the game on Friday night, whether they were paying me or not. I'd be, because I love it. I enjoy it. It's I grew up poor. My dad couldn't afford me to take me to Cowboys games, and even though TCU was terrible when I was a little kid, he damn sure couldn't afford to take me to a TCU game. So what we could afford was go watch the Everman Bulldogs on Friday night. So that's what we did. Right. So that's kind of how I got into it, was just that when I was a little kid, watching guys like Barron Wortham, play for the Everman Bulldogs and watching them. And that's how I became a fan for the most part.
Hey, you sound like us. We'll work for credentials, so we'll hold our sign up at the side of the stadium.
Absolutely. You gonna let me in the game for free. I'm gonna write 1,000 words for you if that's what it takes. So
right.
I interview everybody on the squad and their parents. So you can go just get me on that sideline.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so I see we have our other special guest in the background. I'll bring him in a minute. Let me ask you this. What's the best game you have ever covered?
Man, there's been a lot of great ones, but for me and my money, I still say 2018 North Shore Duncanville is the best game I've ever covered, because to me, that one embodies everything big about Texas high school football. You got big school from the Metroplex, big school from Houston. You had, I think me and my buddy Gabe Brooks from 24/7 Sports, we counted it up. There were 33 guys who signed FBS scholarships in that game. You had a huge crowd, 45,000+ people. And people always talk about the Hail Mary, but that was a hell of a game from the jump. Back and forth game from the jump. North Shore would hit him with big plays. Duncanville would come back with big plays. There were trick plays. North Shore put the D tackle at tight end and threw a touchdown pass to him there in the second half. It was a great ball game, and then you wrap it up with the Hail Mary. I feel like that game embodied everything that's big about Texas high school football in one game. But I mean, I've been, I go see 75 games a year, so I see a lot of great games. I mean, I can list off another 10 games that are almost equally as good. I mean, I've been to some classics. I've been really privileged to see some great games, but I would say North Shore Duncanville for me is number one, and I'm not sure anything will ever top that.
I got a question. Did you see the Denton Geyer John Tyler game?
No, I was not at that game. I remember following that one along online. That was a hell of that was.
I ain't gonna lie. That game probably was the best. It probably was the best because I ain't never seen nothing like that.
No, I got one can top all that. Hey Matt, did you go to that Highland Park Manville game?
I was at Highland Park Manville. I think that's probably number 2 for me. For me, that's number 2.
Yes.
The only thing I didn't like about Highland Park Manville was there was absolutely no defense played in that game. That was the only thing and part of it is great offense for sure, but there was not good defense in that game. Whereas I felt like the North Shore Duncanville game was more of a complete football game because both defenses had made some big plays in that game as well. That was a great game. I guess the most underrated game that I've ever seen actually involves Everman. I don't know if you guys remember 2001 when Everman and Forney played at Pennington Field when Forney had DeBrian Blanton.
Oh, he was
Everman was number 2. Forney was number 1. They played in the second round, and Pennington Field was overflowing. People were standing in the end zones, around the end zone. And Everman made a 4th down stop to win the game, and ended up winning state. That's one of my more underrated games. But since it involves Everman, I got to mention it.
Let me.
You got to represent. You got to represent.
For sure.
Greatest games I've been to, like far as fan wise, was Cedar Hill, DeSoto at Longhorn Stadium. Well, like it was so packed, they wouldn't let nobody else in, and that was like in the first quarter.
Yeah, some of those big Cedar Hill DeSoto games were back when Joey McGuire and Claude Matheson, when they were going at it. It was some big games for sure.
Yeah.
Were you at the South Lake DeSoto game at SMU?
That's the other
at the 1 yard line.
I watched it online, but I was there. I think I was visiting my wife in Canada at the time. So I remember watching that game online when Kenny Hill got stopped on that goal line stand late in the game. And I was convinced DeSoto was going to win it that year. When they beat South Lake, I was convinced they were going to win it. But, it didn't work out for them, and that's just how it goes. Kyler Murray going to do Kyler Murray things sometimes.
But and they put, and when we interviewed Mathis, I asked Mathis about that. They put what was the running back?
Dontre Wilson.
And he hurt his ankle.
Yeah, he got hurt. Yeah, he wasn't right. He wasn't right in that Allen game. He was about 50%.
Yeah, he shouldn't even played.
He was about 50%.
Yeah, and that sucks and stuff because that's really the key to winning state is who's going to be the healthiest in the end.
You got to have a lot of luck. Yeah, you got to have a lot of luck, man. It's a grind, especially in 6A football in Texas to play 16 games. You got to have a lot of depth and you got to have a lot of luck. Things got to break your way. And that's why. I know people, talk about Duncanville and not winning. I mean, and that kind of thing. But you got to have a lot of luck. I mean, things got to go your way because not only do you got to stay healthy, but you got to beat a lot of great teams along the way. It's not an easy route no matter what. And sometimes it just doesn't go your way. And that's kind of the heartbreaking thing about it. It's really hard to win a state championship in the state of Texas, especially in Class 6A.
I think that's probably the most hard. That's probably one of the most frustrating things online that just drive me crazy is people act like Duncanville suck. And I'm like, well, how many teams going 16 games every year?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I mean, it's not easy. And I feel like, just the bad. I mean, if Jaquindon doesn't get hurt, I truly think Duncanville wins it in 2019.
Oh, no doubt.
And then, 2018, they lose on a Hail Mary. Now, if you want to nitpick on them, I think last year you could probably nitpick them a little bit last year. I thought last year they should have won that game.
Yeah, no doubt. I hated their game plan.
The offensive game plan was the problem.
It was an issue. And I talked to the North Shore coaches at coaching school, and they looked at the film and they were like, all we got to do is score 20 points and we'll beat these guys because they're they felt like what Duncanville did offensively played right into their hands.
Yeah, it played right in their hands.
And North Shore North Shore is not only super talented, but they're a really well coached football team. And they had Duncanville pretty much scouted out and dissected, and they crafted a perfect game plan for a freshman quarterback. And they knew they would have a couple of shots in that game to go deep, and they hit it at the right time and made the play. And that's the result of good coaching and good execution by a freshman quarterback who was wise. And then a D1, that kid who caught that touchdown for North Shore is a D1 kid. I mean, he's committed to UTSA. I mean, he's not no chump.
Sure is, yeah.
No.
And that's something real too, Matt. When you say the North, they just
for the whole world to hear it. Panther Nation, y'all just heard it live and clear. North Shore feel like if they score 20, they can beat y'all.
That was that one game, man. One game, man.
But that's how they felt going. That's how they felt going into the game. They felt like if they could get to 20, they could hold Duncanville under 20 points.
Wow.
Well, you can't blame them if you got a run dominated team and one of your specialties is stopping the run.
Exactly. They felt like Duncanville played right into their strengths, and they didn't think Duncanville was going to push the ball downfield and test their secondary. And Duncanville really didn't do it a whole lot, and so.
They did it. They didn't capitalize. They didn't.
Yeah, they dropped the.
They had a couple of chances.
Anyway,
Anyway,
breaking news. We got Coach Barnett on.
Dedicated to the team. J1.
To the Big 12.
What up, Coach?
What's up, fellas? How we doing?
We doing good, Coach.
Welcome to the dub.
Man, thank y'all for having me.
What up from Holland Hills?
It's a pleasure.
Holland Hills, baby, 75241.
Already.
Hey, home of the great Carlos Lynn. He quick to remind you where he come from.
Sir.
Absolutely.
Hey, Coach, I got something to ask you though, man. I was perusing through some pictures and stuff. You got to tell me what's up with this. What's up with this bow tie right here?
Oh, baby, that's what I Hey, listen. We can get on the bow tie, but you got to know those are hand ties, so that's not a cheap bow tie now.
Oh no, I saw the knit. I saw the knit. Look at the knit right there.
Yeah,
that's grandma love or something.
That's custom crochet right there, baby.
That ain't the 80s cummerbund bow tie, is it?
Oh
Yes,
my
sir.
God. But man, great to have you on the show. I think I found there was a picture. I don't know if I have it on here, but I know there was a picture where I saw you being interviewed by God, I can't think of my guy name with Texas High School Sports. Yeah, Tepper. That's
my guy. That's my guy.
Actually, that's my boss. That's my boss.
Actually,
okay, that's the boss.
Hey, you got the right guy on right now, Matt Stepp, because quiet as kept. When I started at a Maceo Smith, Matt Stepp was the guy that kind of helped me. Matt did that for me. So it's good to see you, Matt.
It's good to see you. Remember, I came over to AMACO and talked to you, chopped it up with you for a little while there when you were at AMACO. You know, I try to get my credibility in going, representing in the DISD and Fort Worth ISD schools, give those guys a little love.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Joe Child said that Hutch is going 10-0 this year.
Absolutely.
Already.
Now, coach. Now, if you've been watching the show, you know we got a Carter fanatic on the panel.
Yeah,
you just said that. I saw the steam come off his forehead. So you gotta be careful. Don't be talking about you gonna whoop Carter behind now.
Now let me clarify. We gonna line up and play the football game. We've been doing it for 8 years, you know, and last I checked is 5-3 Hutch.
Oh,
so hold
on. Say that one more time, just a little bit louder, because he was saying something to Duncanville. I forgot what he was talking about, but say what's the record of Hutch and Carter?
5-3 Wilma Hutchins.
We'll add this though.
I might need to leave that up there for a while.
I will add this though. The Cowboys took the last two.
Absolutely.
That made the bird go away.
Absolutely. And I think give shout out to Coach Gilbert. He's doing a great job over there, turning that thing around. I think that was an excellent hire for Carter. You know, Coach Gilbert has a great offensive philosophy, and what he's doing with his kids, man, is really proving positive for them. So kudos to Coach Gilbert and what he's doing over there at Carter. That's one of my good friends. So I really excited for what he's doing over there at Carter.
Yes, sir.
That's a great picture. That's fall camp.
I like them helmets, Coach.
Oh yeah. You know, we first class over here. You know, we Adidas branded, so everything we do is shut in Adidas, man. We run 7 uniforms and 3 helmets, so we treat our kids the same way they treat them at some of these big time 6A programs. So you come to Hutch, man, you'll see the royalty that our kids get.
And I tell you what, nobody throws a homecoming tailgate like Hutch. I'm gonna say that. Nobody. Hey, the last time I went, Coach, I ain't even make it in the game.
No, it's like a smorgasbord of all the meats and vegetables and partying and everything else, the libations you want, man. It's the best homecoming party in the country. Yes, sir.
No doubt. Ain't no doubt about that.
And you got a home field advantage in DISD for having your own home field and stuff. Right. I wish they would let y'all just decorate that whole field in blue, man. I love the color blue that y'all rock.
You know, we actually redid our practice field in the back. It's custom turf, and we have the logo in there. And actually, when you come out this year, the new stadium will look just like our practice field. So all that'll be gone. It'll say Wilma Hutchins Stadium in the middle. The eagle will be royal blue in Columbia. the outline. It's gonna be nice, man. It'll be one of the best turf settings in DISD.
So you say you actually have an extra practice field that's turfed also?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so as far as the DISD school, I mean, you guys are really set up for success because you got an on-campus stadium, and now you got that practice. I didn't realize they gave you that. Man, we got to go by Hutch. I don't even stay that far away, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go slide through there and see what.
You got to go see it, man. Now, hey, Hutch Stadium is nice. I don't understand why they don't hold more games over there because
I agree.
Hutch Stadium is nice.
It is.
It's nice.
Hey, Coach B, I want to ask you a question real quick. A lot of y'all Hutch Nation want to know, is this a typo or is it real? Is the game actually at 10 o'clock Saturday?
Yes, sir. It's at 10 a.m. Fort Worth ISD, they don't have the number of stadiums that we have in DISD. So that was the time slot that we could get. I actually put it out there that we could, flip sites so they could come here this year and we'll go to them if we could get a better time. But he pretty much told me, regardless of if we go this year or next year, it's still going to be a 10 a.m. game.
Wow.
Which, it's super early. You'd rather do that thing at 6 p.m. But with the travel and all that, hey, man, let's get the boys up early. We're thinking about doing a sleepover Friday night so we can keep them out here on campus. Right. Get up early in the morning. We got breakfast coming in and get on the bus, man, and go out there and perform.
Hey, Coach, I can imagine your look when you heard about that game. It probably went like that.
now, I want y'all to focus on two things on this picture now.
Okay.
Because Coach ain't fooling me. Check the bling. Check the bling, the ring, and the watch. You did?
Oh yeah. I noticed that too. I'm like, man, that money good at Hutch. Yeah. Man, a state title goes a long way. I think, what was the last state title? 94?
1990.
90.
And actually, Carlos Lynn was on that team.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Coach Lynn was on that team. That was a good team. Keith Washington was on that team. He won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens. That 90s team was really stacked with a lot of good players.
Robert Woods, legendary coach too. That was a legendary coach, Robert Woods.
Robert Woods.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
And there's another coach that came from that staff. Wasn't Jim Brown on that staff?
Jim Brown.
Coach Jim Brown.
The running back?
No, he was a coach. He came over with Ben Dow to DeSoto. That next year.
But I never heard of John.
You never heard of Jim Brown?
No.
Matter of fact, we talked about it when we had Jack on.
Matt ain't even heard of Jim Brown.
Not that Jim Brown.
Matt young, y'all young. Well, not you, Pat. You're old behind her to know it.
You're probably older than everybody on here.
Coach, I bet they scheduled that game at 10 a.m. because they thought it was going to be 120 degrees outside, and they didn't realize we have a cold front come through.
Right.
Yeah.
Facts.
I agree.
All right. So, Coach, tell me about some of the players on offense that you're looking to be explosive and get to that 10-0 record that people are predicting online anyway.
Well, our offense is run through Jarvis Turner. He's a D1 tight end for us. We use him at H-back. Jarvis is going to be our feature guy. We're going to get him off early, let him just carry the load for us. We got a plethora of receivers. Robert Hall is a special. Javon Rowe came back home. He's special. We got a nice dosage of running backs, got the big power back. We got the shifty backs. Our thing this year is going to be, can our quarterback secure the ball? Can he protect the ball, make good decisions? Because what we do, we really run a pretty complex offense where the quarterback has to make those reads. He's got to find the open grass and all that kind of stuff. So if he can do that, I think he's got enough guys around him, especially in the skill spots, to really do some damage this year.
So Robert Hall, he's not kin to the Robert Hall from CC Carter.
No. We're not gonna make it. No.
Coach, I got a question. Coach, I got a question. It's a lady came on our Facebook group and she posted a couple of highlights of I think he was a linebacker, wasn't he? The middle linebacker that he was just cleaning up on y'all scrimmage. I forget the name. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you talking about Jarian Parks.
Yeah,
Jarian Parks. he's playing well. You know, last year he was a defensive end for us. He helped us a little bit on offense as a tight end, but he had a tremendous summer, man. He put on some weight. He got a little faster. He got a little leaner, got a little meaner. And so we give him that Mike backer spot. We run a 3-3 stack defense, so he makes the strength calls. He sends the nose whichever way he wants the nose to go. And then from there, man, he just finds the football. And really, it's a thankless position, but it's a glorified position because every backer that we've had has played that in that 3-3-5 the past 3-4 years. All of them have been built for tough players of the week. They've all went on to play college ball. So he's got a shot to shine this year. And hopefully, he own up to it and do what he's supposed to do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, what them trenches like? Because I'm going to be honest with you, Coach. Before I say a team good, I got to see what them trenches like because that's where it starts and stops with J-Mac. If you ain't got the trenches, you ain't nothing but a 7-on-7 club.
Well, let me tell you this, J-Mac. you and I on the same boat. One of the things we do, and I know some of you guys know Coach Strickland. Y'all went to school with him. Y'all grew up.
My classmate.
Yeah, man. Coach Strickland is our offensive coordinator. He's played offensive line. He's played defensive line. He's played tight end. So we are not shy about what we do up front on both sides of the ball. So our offensive line will be good. They'll be quick. They'll be physical. Our defensive line it's a growing season for them. We're gonna have a lot of young guys up front. But the one thing that we did this year that has been really beneficial to our program, our summer strength and conditioning, because you got to think, 2 years ago we was on COVID, so the kids couldn't live. Then last summer, we had some things that kind of kept us from getting in the weight room like we needed to. But this summer, 6 weeks, man, everybody was there. Everybody was grinding. And I promise you'll see that this year if you come watch Hutch.
Hey, Coach B, real quick. You have my high school classmate's son, Blaylock Jr.
Uh-huh.
Tell me a little bit about Mike.
Michael Blaylock is special. He was newcomer of the year last year in the district. Led the guys with, I think, 5 or 6 interceptions. He's got a chance to be a legitimate Division I prospect. What Mike has to do this year, he's got to track the ball just a little bit better, and he's got to show up in the run fit. If he can show the scouts that he can tackle, he'll definitely make y'all proud. He'll earn him a nice scholarship because he has the ball skills. He can cover anyone, man. We are excited about Michael Blaylock.
Yes,
and
sir.
also that same subject, we've been rivals for years, so I've been knowing everything about y'all. Tell me how special Kyle Douglas was, man. See that kid place myself, that was a dynamic dude.
We raised Kyle because his dad and our best friend. We really close. And so Kyle and my son went to school together since the 2nd grade. And he had an opportunity to go to Red Oak because that's where they live. And so he brought all that here, man. And his junior year, absolutely spectacular. And honestly, I tell Coach Strickland this all the time. That's the season I blew it. We had Julio playing receiver. He was a 1,000-yard receiver. Kendall Gilmore was a 900-yard receiver. Kedrick Chancellor at the backyard was a 600-yard back. We had all the talent that year. We ended up going 9-2. We lost to South Oak Cliff and we lost to Salina. Those are our only 2 losses. But Kyle Douglas was phenomenal. Coming into his senior year, he had the meniscus tear.
Yeah,
and it kind of slowed him down a little bit. But if he didn't have that injury, man, he'd probably be playing, Division I ball right now. Kyle was absolutely amazing.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Tell me this, Coach. What you think about the two new teams that look like this that came in the district with Salina and the new Frisco team, which I guess you probably would know that they got a lot of those Lone Star kids end up going over there.
And Liberty.
And Liberty.
Yeah,
Frisco's just a mess, but evidently the new school somehow got all the good kids.
Yeah. Well, the way they zone those schools out there when they open a school, Frisco has a true choice of school. Everybody says they have open enrollment, but Frisco has true open enrollment. If that's where you want to go, you can go there. I can't tell you much about them. I hadn't seen any film on them. They hadn't really played any games. The good thing is they got to come here. I like it when they come here because our band is special. Our atmosphere, is very exciting. So if they aren't acclimated to that, it takes a minute to get accustomed to that.
Make it homecoming.
Man.
As a matter of fact, it might be.
I guarantee you, their eyes get big when they get off the bus. You make it home.
Hey, that might be a game that does need to get them sideline passes, coach. We're always looking for sideline passes, like Matt back in the days.
I would want you guys.
We'll work for sideline passes.
I'm gonna ask you about Saturday. Can the dub come Saturday?
Yeah, y'all come on out. Come on out, man. Listen. The one thing we want is this. We want you guys to, talk about our program, talk about our kids, talk about our coaches, because unlike all the other schools in DISD, everybody knows the history of Carter. Everybody knows the history of South Oak Cliff, the history of Lincoln, the history of Kimball. And what happened to Hutch is an unfortunate thing when they shut the school down.
Right.
But when you get an opportunity to restart that, there's a generational gap where people just don't think about Hutch. You forgot about Hutch. So we kind of sit out here, and we on that 20 corridor. So it's Hutch, Lancaster, Cedar Hill, Duncanville. So it's a whole lot of schools in a small area. And, everybody get their fair share of attention, but we kind of fall under the radar sometimes. So definitely, man, y'all come out any game y'all want. We got the sideline passes, man. Bring your cameras, man. Shoot your video. Do your interviews, because we want that exposure. We want people to know that we play.
Coach, our motto is very simple. If you ride with us, we ride with you.
Absolutely.
That's the way I live my life. That's the way we do on the dub. If you ride with us, we ride with you, baby. So you say you down with us, we'll be there.
I love it.
Oh, yeah, we'll be there, Coach.
Clark Stadium? Is it Clark?
Clark Stadium, yes, sir.
I'm there.
Yes, sir. Come on out, man.
All right, Matt, you got any questions?
Now, what Coach was talking about when Hutch closed down, I think a lot of people who don't really know the history, you remember the year that Hutch closed down, they were bringing back like 19 starters from a team that lost in the third round of the playoffs that year. If Hutch doesn't close, I legitimately thought that team with Mike Robinson, they had a chance to win a state championship that year. They were loaded. Like they played Tatum in the third round. That Tatum team won a state championship in 3A that year, and Hutch pushed them harder than anyone, and they brought back a ton of kids. So, timing and kind of how things work out is everything, because if they'd have lasted one more year, Hutch, the history could have been a lot different, but man, right. I've been riding with Coach since he was at AMACO, and he was always good to me in the media. So Coach Barnett's definitely one of my guys. And you were talking about that year that you guys lost to Salina in the playoffs. I remember that game very well because y'all pushed Salina to the limit. Y'all really should have won that game. That was at Standard Stadium, and nobody was really talking about that game. And I felt like, that was a year, I don't know how you feel, but I felt like that was one that got away from you guys, because I felt like y'all were probably the better team that night.
Yes, sir.
Right.
I agree.
But what get overlooked with Wilma Hutchins? A lot of people don't realize, not last year, but the year before, Wilma Hutchins defeated that same Kaufman team in the first round.
Right.
That defeated Carter last year.
Right.
And they also, to me, I was at the La Vega game. I mean, I feel like if Jalen would have never got kicked out the game, I feel like that game would have been a lot close, or y'all would have beat them. Because I feel like y'all actually was giving it to them pretty good, and it just got away from y'all. But y'all played a hell of a game in like that first and second quarter. It's just that second half, they just came out and wanted it more. But I feel like if that never happened to Jalen, it would have been a different game. Because when he was in there, he was eating that secondary up. And unfortunately, that happened.
That was the COVID year. And I'm gonna tell you something interesting about that game. And I'm gonna throw Demond Coach Strickland under the bus. So, we were all everybody was dealing with COVID that year. I mean, you had a player get COVID, man. The COVID protocols were different, 14-day isolation and all that stuff. So we go into that deal, and Coach is over at his school. And if any kid gets sick, he's got a quarantine. So we go into that game, no OC and no DC in the second round of the playoffs, because of the COVID protocols. And just like you, I was really proud of the kids because they were fighting I think 2019 Waco La Vega won the state championship. So they was fighting the state championship program without two of their coordinators. And like you said, Jalen, man, getting ejected from that game changed the outlook for us because we were really moving the ball well against them.
Easily. Y'all was moving it with ease. I mean, when the game first started, everybody was like, La Vega finna blow them out. Y'all came out there and hit them in their mouth early. They didn't know what hit them. And like I said,
Right.
that incident happened with Jalen. That's when they took control of the game. But I feel like, he never got kicked out of the game. I feel like it would have been a different outcome. But like I said, the week before, y'all handled Kaufman, and this is the same Kaufman team that blasted Carr to 24-0. So I know what you guys capable of doing. I didn't see it with my own eyes. I feel like y'all program has always been dynamic, and I feel like y'all one of those programs that's gonna be back on the rise soon and gonna be a powerhouse.
Yeah.
And we definitely got to keep y'all out there in the forefront, because I feel what you're saying. Hutchins kind of fell back a little bit in the background from the DISD or even just the Southern Sector teams, and we got to get you guys back out there because you're running a good program.
Thank you.
You got a good staff. You're running a good program. You're putting out good kids. So we got to get you back out there, Coach. So just keep talking. Just keep talking and keep coaching.
I'm down with the dub, baby. I already told you. I'm down with
You already know.
Yeah.
Hey, we got you.
I will be there Saturday.
I had to throw that in there real quick.
Coach Barnett.
What's up, Will?
What's up, baby?
How you doing, boss?
I love you, dog.
Man, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. That's
How you
my
doing?
Will Lowe.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I almost told him a story about you, man, but I ain't want to tell him.
Tell it
Come
now.
on. Tell it now.
Tell it now.
Tell the truth, shame the devil. Let's go.
So Will is coaching college ball, and he know all the traps. He know all the schools in DISD.
Traps.
So he comes by my school, and I got a receiver, Keandre McKnight. Like I said, the guy was 1,000-yard receiver.
I remember him.
And he said, Coach, who you got? I said, come on, I'm gonna show you my receiver, man. So we go down to the room, pull the kid out, and Will standing there. He look at it. But Keandre was so soft-spoken. He was introverted, and Will was trying to get him to open up and talk to him. And he just wouldn't. And that old Carter cowboy and Will came out. And he was like, say, man, Coach can't sell you better than you can sell yourself. You got to learn how to speak for yourself. And I thought that was so impactful, because sometimes our kids, when they have those opportunities, they freeze up, and they shouldn't freeze up, because if you can tell your homeboy you're gonna smash him, and I'm gonna do this to you, all Will wanted the guy with Keandre to say, hey, I'm the best receiver on the team. I'm probably the best receiver in the city. I'm 1,000-yard receiver, man. I want this opportunity because I'll come to your college and ball right now. Just give me the scholarship. Because our kids lack that sometimes, that confidence to really say how they feel and what's on their chest. So we're trying to bring that out of them.
So to take it to another level, I feel really, really bad about that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, the gift is, I was at Alabama A&M. I was a recruiting coordinator, and the receivers I had was Tank Dell at Houston, O.J. Hilara, Ishbom. Like, we had, just ballers. And I remember when I would show the coaches his film, because I had to fight for him. And so I was like, dude, this dude. And they kept saying, oh, man, he always open. I said, well, damn, I said, well, he's a receiver. So I started calling him 7-11, right? So every time I come in the office, it's like, oh, what you got to say about 7-11? I just said, man, the dude always open, man. If I want a receiver, I want a cat that's always open. Like, it just don't matter, right? So to make a long story short, man, the kid committed to us, and me being if I'd have known what I knew now, right? I was in a great situation, but I had a chance to become the assistant head coach. And, and ultimately I got a chance to become the interim head coach. So I took that move, which really caused a communication gap between him and having the opportunity to really shine. Because I'm going to just tell you this, the other receiver was Tyrese Chambers. So we had killers. And I promise you this, that dude was better than 99.9% of them. Like he was just so smooth. I remember we sitting in the office and I'm bragging on this dude with coach, and this is after the dude, he a senior, and Missouri was in there. Missouri was sitting in that chair, and Missouri said, Coach, we'll offer him right now. And Coach Barnett was like, man, he's a senior. And dude was like, yeah, man, we can't take him. Like, that's how cold he was. And when you know, so I always say this, man, whenever you go to Whitman Hutchins and get a Coach Barnett kid, you're going to get you a solid kid. And that one, I take that one, Coach, on the chin. So I definitely got to apologize to you for that one because I'd say that kid would have been, you know what I'm saying? And it is what it is, but man, I love that kid, man. He's a heck of a player. Solid.
Will speechless. That's the first.
You ain't lying. But if you know Will, one thing about, and that's why we brought him on with the dub, why he taking him a little break, is because Will tell it like it is. Now, I've been knowing Will all my life. You know, you say he a Carter kid, I say he an Oak Cliff kid, because we both grew up in Oak Cliff. Adele Turner, Atwell, all the way on up. So he tell it like it is, and it's crazy because little story about Will. We was at the North Crowley Mesquite Horn scrimmage, and Will just so happened to be next to another coach. You remember this Will, Coach Wilson, Allen Wilson. And I was like, man, it's about 10, 15 D1 kids out there. And Will look at Coach Wilson, and Coach Wilson look at me and say, where? I was out there on the field. They saying it's all in the paper, it's all on the internet. It's 10, 15 D1 kids out there. Coach, they look at each other and say, well, our definition of great and your definition of great ain't the same. But that's what you get from an old ball coach, man, that just tell it like it is. And I appreciate being around people like that. So that's why we got Will on.
Hey, Big Will, you meet me in Fort Worth Saturday?
At 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what time that other game?
Which one?
6.
Oh, yeah, we got plenty of time. Absolutely. Yeah, I'll meet you out there, baby. Let's go check out Coach Barnett, man. Let's go,
I'll be there too.
Hey, look, and this is what Hutch don't know. They started quarterback on that state championship team. Rod Hill was our starting running back in Little League football when we played with the Redbird Raiders. Like him, Byron Hansport, Mark Williams, Andre Patterson. We was like, so Hutch, man, listen, Hutch has great history, great coaches over there, man. Coach, keep doing your thing, man. We definitely gonna be there Saturday. Support you, man, for sure, man. Wherever DISD go, I'm gonna go. I got you, bro.
And I ain't gonna hold you to that 10-0, coach, but I am gonna hold you to no less than 7-3.
I'll take that.
I'm gonna hold you to 1-0, bro.
Hey, hold on. Say it again, Will.
I'm gonna hold you to 1-0.
You gotta play them one game at a time.
That's it.
I love it.
That's it.
That's them coaches talking now. That's them coaches talking now.
Hey, we got a Dunbar comic for you. Let me read it to you.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
Yeah. He said, we're not phased by Hutch. Y'all gotta come to Stop 6.
Oh,
okay.
The HBCU band and all. Now, see, coach, I'm gonna be honest. See, because he mentioned Stop 6, I'm gonna miss that game. But I'm with you in the spirit. I'm just saying, because I'm too old. I'm too old to be running. I'm too old to be fighting. I'm just too old, coach. I'm just being honest with you. I'm 47 and I'm looking forward to 48. You know what I'm saying?
As a matter of fact,
it's 10 in the morning, though, Jay. It's 10 in the morning, dog.
The streets don't sleep, baby. The streets don't sleep.
Hey, Coach B, real quick.
Cruising the internet streets in 564 with J Mac, only on the dub.
That's it. The streets don't sleep. I told y'all.
We played Dunbar back in the 2000s at Clark, and let's just say, man, we beat them so bad. By the time the game's over with, they whole side was on our side.
So I don't have that story.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach Elsie, before we get you out of here, we got to get to our prediction segment and stuff like that. I just want to shout out any coaches, anybody that have been great to you, any mentors that got you into this position you in.
I'm gonna tell you this, man. Y'all were talking about Alan Wilson, and I'm Jason Todd and Kendall Miller, Coach Barrett at Kennedale, even Todd Rogers at Argyle, man. Some of these guys have really poured into me, made me the guy I am, like Matt Stepp and Greg Tepper and Aaron Hardigan, everybody that gave me an opportunity to just platform our football program. But I'm gonna end with the story that I got from Alan Wilson, my first year as a head coach at Wilma Hutchins, at Maceo Smith High School. So the boys out there on the field, they doing their pregame warm up, and Coach Wilson always drove his black Ford Frontier to the games. He never rode on the bus. So I'm coming out the locker room and I'm sprinting. I'm running out there because I don't want to miss the pregame. And he says, "Hey," and I look. I said, "Coach." He said, "Hey, come here." And he's sitting on his truck. And I said, "What's up, Coach?" He said, "Where you going?" I said, "Man, I gotta go out here, man. We playing y'all tonight. I gotta make sure the team is ready." He said, "Hell, son, if they ain't ready by now, they're not gonna be ready." And in that moment, that's what greatness does. You be prepared before the moment and be prepared for anything, because anything can happen in a game. And Coach Wilson taught me that my first year as a head coach. So what we do, I never leave a stone unturned. I always check all the traps, because at the end of the day, got to be prepared, man. So, hey, stop 6 or not. We come to play football. That's what's going to happen. So,
hey, Coach, I got one question. I do got one question before you get out of here, because you DISD, and DISD just had their first state championship in a while, officially. And you mentioned Coach Todd. I'm just wondering, how is the feeling like when you saw Coach Todd and Sock won state? Did they kind of give you a boost, like, okay, now it's gonna be our turn? Is our turn next?
Hey, man, first of all, let me tell you something. Jason, if you guys know him,
he listening.
Jason Todd is cold-blooded. This dude is a master motivator, man. And if you ever go by there and watch him practice, Todd got 300 kids, and they all want to play for South Oak Cliff. Yep, that's hard to do in the inner city, to get a kid to be hungry every day, all day, to be a winner, to be a champion. So I take my hat off to Coach Todd for doing that. And actually, I talked to him on Monday just to call him, give me some inspiration, because when they won that state championship, it made me go back and replay all the seasons and everything that I didn't do so well. And so I'm coming into this thing this year. We got it on the board, 12-16-2022. It's written on the board, 12-16-2022. Every kid, 12-16-2022, because that's the night we want to be playing. I want Greg Tepper there to interview me. I want Matthew Stepp there to talk about it. I want to see Aaron Hardigan with the show, because that's what we're talking about. Now, in order for all that to come to fruition, we got to do our part as coaches. Our kids got to do their part as players. And the community and the dub, man, y'all got to show us some love, and let's go make this.
Coach.
Yes, sir.
16, Coach. When y'all marching out on that field, the dub right behind you.
That's what I'm saying.
Give me the flag. Give me the flag. I come around down there with the flag. You did.
Hey, B, before you leave, was you on the Maceo? Was you coaching Maceo back when they had Ron on them?
No, Ronald Simmons he's before me. He played for Coach Callahan.
Okay. Yeah, he played with me.
Okay. Yeah. I played with you?
Yeah, I came out 03. Yeah.
Okay, y'all was some bad boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where y'all young?
Yeah.
All these youngsters, ain't they young? Well, I feel old.
I'm Duncanville 88, so I'm way back then.
I was listening to the show, and y'all was talking about the greatest games y'all ever seen. And I ain't gonna date myself, or I'm gonna be more recently, because a lot of times the 4A and the 5A schools don't get a lot of love. We always talk about the 6A schools. But there's a guy right now playing for the Denver Broncos named Baron Browning that played at Kennedale High School. The best high school football game I ever saw was Midlothian Heritage and Kennedale out here in Vernon, out in Mansfield. That boy put on a show that night, and you could see that he was going to be an NFL player that night. One of the best games I've ever seen as a high school coach.
Hey man, that was a cold-blooded player too, man.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Baron Browning is an Everman boy, really. I went to school with his mama and his daddy.
Yeah, you know, all of them. Hey, we can say that about a lot of them teams out there on the 817.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach Carr said respect to you, Coach.
I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having your own, Coach. Definitely will be invading your sideline soon. I think we might do that game with you said Frisco, the new Frisco school is out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Panther.
Yeah. So we'll definitely come out there for that. Man, much success to your program. Also, I think stop by practice next week or something.
Come on by. Come on by.
Hey, I got your number locked in too, Coach. So you'll be getting my text.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we need those passes too, Coach, for Saturday morning.
Yes, sir.
Right, you gonna get those?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm gonna get there probably about
Coach, I'm showing up for breakfast. I don't know what they talking about. I'm showing up for the team breakfast. I want it all. Hey man, hey look, you gotta just tell me no.
Yeah.
On a good night, we need to ride the bus.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're gonna be right there with the tube acting like he with the band. But Coach, we appreciate you. Definitely we'll be following you this year, and y'all do something great. We'll get you back on the show. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Guys.
Oh no, you coming regardless.
Hold on, Coach B. I actually picked
Wait
out.
a minute. Time out. My guy right here. I think we never go ahead, man. I'm sorry. We never end interviews because he has one more thing. I'm gonna call you one more thing.
I know, man.
28-12.
28-12. I'll take it.
28-12.
I'll take it.
Okay, I'm with that. All
hey,
right.
after y'all play Carter, you want to come on before or after the game?
However you want me, man. Whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Because if y'all win, we just gonna do a whole 20-minute segment of roast and ride.
I like that.
It's gonna be called roast and ride. We're gonna do 20 minutes of just roast and ride. That's it.
That's how you roast
with
ride,
them
right
shorts.
there.
With them shorts on right there.
Oh man, that's how you roast ride. Coach, we appreciate you for being on the club, and have a great year. And we'll see you next time. All right.
Thank you, guys.
See you Saturday.
All right, Coach.
It's official.
The Dub is the #1 high school podcast in the 214-817-972-469. And every point in between. Hear from your favorite coaches, players, and high school teams in the Dub. Every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Join us on Facebook, Texas Youth and High School Sports, and on Twitter. And our new YouTube page, hosted by Whitfield Roderick, Brian Roger, Pat Botizzi, and Jay Mack, only on